Cops face all kinds of violent and horrifying criminals on their jobs, but what happens when their duties clash with personal ties, leading to heart-wrenching moments where they must put family aside and enforce the law? Here are 6 gripping cases where cops found themselves in the unenviable position of arresting their own families. On December 28, 2022, an eyewitness saw a white car slam into a traffic light and then zoom away like it was auditioning for an action movie.
Yeah, there's a white bumper here. What kind of car was it?
It was, I think, a white Toyota.
A white Toyota? Did you get a license plate by chance?
I tried to, but this car just down.
Okay.
The car left behind a piece of its bumper, a little souvenir of its dramatic exit. About 15 minutes later, the police found the runaway vehicle at a gas station right across the road. However, when they checked out the driver, they got the surprise of their lives.
Bumper's in the road over there. Okay, did you just hit that pole?
No, I promise you I did not.
No? So if someone brings that bumper over here, it's not going to match up perfectly.
The first thing 21-year-old Teresa blurts out is that her dad's a local police officer, probably hoping he'd swoop in and save her from the mess. But the officers on the scene know this situation is beyond a simple family rescue mission.
Can I call my dad, who's a sheriff's officer?
Let the one officer come here who's out with your other part of your bumper. He's going to talk to you, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Universally, smoking marijuana is just one part of Teresa's confusing story. She claims her bumper was already dangling from an accident in Pennsylvania, some 25 miles away, and it conveniently decided to drop off right where another car, identical to hers, hit a traffic light. But Teresa thinks she has an ace up her sleeve. In just a few minutes, she mentions her dad over 5 times, clearly hoping his police badge might work some magic to get her out of this sticky situation. But before her dad can come in to save the day, the cops start piecing together what really happened and manage to get some truth out of Teresa. And despite this, she still insists she didn't hit the traffic light.
On the other side? Yeah, this ring's all messed up too on this side.
That's already messed up.
That's what it was?
The other accident.
I know.
that
I was right next to. Yeah, I know.
I was at Dunkin' and the guy backed into me in this accident.
Listen, are you just scared you're going to get tickets or something?
Yes.
Is that all it is?
Yes.
So you want to just tell the truth?
Yes, I'm telling you the
So when after Applebee's, did you hit a traffic pole?
I think I hit something. I remember hitting something.
You can't miss it. It lights up. It's red, green, and yellow.
I remember hitting something after Applebee's. But
Okay.
I'm saying, like,
And then did you drive away because you're scared because you had maybe had one drink and you think you're drunk?
Yeah.
And you might get arrested, but you don't seem like you're drunk?
Yes.
As the conversation continues, Teresa spills the secret. She admits to hitting something, being more intoxicated than the cops initially thought, and texting while driving. 3 serious offenses, each with its own set of consequences. With the truth out, the detectives decide to have a word with her father, John, but they are surprised. He's not there to bail her out.
Hey, John, how are you? So your daughter is a traffic law and working on that.
John explains that Teresa did hit a deer earlier, causing some damage to the front right bumper. However, it was nothing compared to the current state of the car.
It looks like the fog light thing, it's, I don't know if it's a fog light or if it's like a plastic piece. So that's gone. The bumper's cracked, and then there was another piece of the bumper right below the headlight that fell off by the traffic light that she took out.
Okay.
All right.
She took it out, it came down.
Yeah, she took it down.
It seems Teresa won't be getting the rescue she was hoping for from her dad. Just 5 minutes later, he shows up at the scene to talk with the cops. Here's how it all unfolded when he arrived.
This was intact.
Okay.
This piece was missing. The these scratches here, that's all from a deer that she
The cops who were first at the scene almost seemed as though they were expecting John to try and make excuses for his daughter. They got extra nervous when he asked for the supervisor's name, thinking he might use his rank to get her off the hook. After all, there are stories of higher-up officers protecting their kin, and they're all too common. However, they soon realized John wasn't there to play the corruption game. He just wanted all the facts so he could assess the situation fairly. This became clear when he started checking his text messages from Teresa to piece together a timeline of events.
She probably hit it and was like, Dad, what the fuck do I do?
Probably, I would say, somewhere between 10:45 and 11.
That's about right.
However, despite John's willingness to help the officers out, the sergeant at the scene asks him not to get involved to guarantee the integrity of the investigation. So far, everything other than Teresa's conduct has been perfect and is a great example of proper policing. So, it's back to focusing on what Teresa had mentioned earlier. She says she only had one drink at Applebee's, but it's starting to seem as though she may be a little more drunk than they realized. Suspicions that were only confirmed after some field sobriety tests.
Dad.
Hold on, we'll let you talk.
Do you have anything to tell your pocket? If you need anything from inside the car itself,
After her dad's cooperation, which deserves an accolade, Teresa was escorted into the police vehicle and taken to the station for a blood alcohol test. The results showed her level was 0.17%, more than twice the legal limit. Teresa was fined and received a court summons for driving under the influence, reckless driving, and failing to report an accident. Teresa's dad followed protocol perfectly. Likewise, this man did the exact thing when he tried not to abuse his power as a police officer to try and save his wife from going to prison. On September 5th, 2023, in Lee County, New Mexico, an incident captured on body cam footage unfolded as law enforcement officers responded to reports of erratic driving, nearly resulting in a collision with another vehicle. The suspect, identified as the intoxicated girlfriend of a sergeant, was discovered in a black Mitsubishi Outlander SUV with a 1-year-old baby on board. Despite the strong smell of alcohol, the deputies had a hard time arresting her because she wasn't willing to cooperate. Perhaps being the girlfriend of a sergeant, she expected special treatment.
So we got a call for a 47. It was a black SUV with that license plate number. So the vehicle was she's pressing me with help. Vehicle was parked right here. Okay, so I parked down there by the Key Energy to try to see the vehicle pull out so I can get observations of the vehicle because we had a caller that didn't want contact. So she took off driving, went southbound, and then kind of hit the curb real hard, almost hitting that fence, and then a mod blocked her in, and then that's when I pulled up next to her.
The officer instructed her to step out due to suspected intoxication, or he would pull her out. Things got even worse when she started acting aggressively, so they had to take her out of the car and arrest her. The officer emphasizes equality under the law, stating that no one is above it, while the police officer stands firm, asserting that personal connections won't grant special treatment. This shows that everyone has to follow the same rules, no matter who they know or are friends with.
Like, really?
You're not getting any because who you know, it don't matter, okay? You know it's against the law to be driving under the influence, correct? Okay, you do know that, right? So I don't know why you think you're above the law because of who you're dating. You're gonna get out of the car, I'm gonna have to pull you out. Okay, because we're not playing a game like you did with the other officers. Okay? Are you gonna get out of the car?
What game are we playing?
I'm not playing any game with you. Are you gonna get out of the car? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
I have one out on the garage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Really? Oh, what the f***?
You're gonna listen. You don't get any favors because who you're dating. You understand that?
The other officer smelled a strong odor of alcohol from her, confirming that she was drunk driving. She resisted while the officers took her out of the car.
Get up. No. Ahmad said he f***ed your ass. Go ahead and get up. He told me. Right now. Go ahead and get up. No, Jasmine. He told me he f***ed you.
Get up.
Get up.
Get up or you're gonna go.
Get up. Jasmine. Hey, get up. No, he told me. Get up. Get in there. He told me. Get up. I will f*** you not. Get in there.
That's enough.
Stop.
That's enough. Now knock it off. I'm not gonna tell you again. You're gonna knock it off. You're not gonna come out here and kick one of my deputies.
So obviously we know you were driving, right? And I can clearly smell that you were drinking. I don't know your whole situation. I don't know what's going on, but I just wanted to ask you, do you want to submit to some tests to see if you're fit to drive? What was that? No? Okay.
Her sergeant boyfriend then explained the situation to the officers.
I was already at home. I'm tracking her, and I'm like, where are you at? She said she was on. I was like, well, you need to get over there and get your son. So she wasn't responding. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like, she was on the phone, but she wasn't saying anything. And so I asked her, have you been drinking? She didn't say nothing. I was like, okay. tracking the phone. I hear a call come out, and they described my car. I don't know my 28, but I know my car, if you describe it to me. I'm driving down this way. I see Solomon parked down there, and I'm like, why ain't he doing nothing? Because she was right here where my car is. Look, she was like this. She was at this angle, facing that way, right where the car was resting. She was right here. So I swing around, and I pull up next to her, and I said, hey, man, turn the car off. Because I didn't know if she had the baby or not. My focus was to get the car stopped to get the baby.
She was then transported to the station. After reaching the station, she took a sobriety test, revealing that she was 4.5 times above the legal limit.
You said you were going to take the test. Right now we're here. Now it's time to take the test, okay?
I'm telling you, if I
Desiree.
fail, I will not have my
Okay,
kid.
if the machine tones out, we're going to take it as refusal, and we're just going to take you right over to the jail. Big blow. Breathe in real big. Keep going.
In the end, the suspect faced multiple charges, including aggravated DWI, abuse of a child, and 2 counts of battery upon a peace officer. The sergeant followed the law perfectly without interfering. But what would you say to Kenneth Adams' dad, who did the exact opposite when he tried to abuse his power as a commissioner to save his son from prison? This is Kenneth Adams, who was pulled over for running a stop sign in November 2022. But as it turns out, Kenneth was in much more trouble than he realized.
How's it going?
Good. What did I do wrong?
Good. So the reason I stopped you didn't come to complete stop the stop sign,
I did.
and then you didn't have your turn signal on.
I sure did.
As the officer took his license and ran it through the system, he came to know that Kenneth had a warrant for burglary and a theft of a vehicle. At this point, things went wrong. Nobody expected what happened next. All of a sudden, Kenneth became defensive and refused to exit the vehicle.
I haven't stepped out. Well, no, he's because an arrest for a warrant. Yes, active warrant.
An active warrant at a 7th District Court here in San Juan.
I've gone. No, that's incorrect.
Okay, well, it's on our system right now.
Well, you.
I'm not going to argue with you about it. You're going to go to jail tonight on that warrant, okay?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
I
are.
don't. Excuse me. Like, no.
Okay.
This is.
Kenneth insists he's already been to court for his previous offenses, but there's still an active warrant for his arrest. For most minor cases, suspects are responsible for submitting documents that prove they've attended court and completed any court-ordered classes. Without these documents, the court can't confirm their compliance. Since Kenneth forgot to turn in his paperwork, the warrant stayed open, and the police had no way of knowing he'd actually been to court.
This is absurd.
Mr. Adams, you do have an active warrant for your arrest.
And who issued the warrant though?
The courts have it issued.
For what though? Because I've gone to court for everything. There should not be an active warrant for me anywhere, dude.
Kenneth was taken away to the station, but this is when his father, Bruce Adams, turned up, and he turned out to be the county commissioner for the local area. How convenient it was for Kenneth. Immediately arriving at the scene, Bruce demanded to know what was going on and quickly started to show signs of corruption.
A politician, lawmaker, tries to throw his weight around because his son has a warrant out for his arrest. Here's the footage.
What do you want me to do?
Well, we're letting you take the car so we don't have to impound it.
I don't want it impounded.
I know, that's why we're letting you take it.
Okay. Where's Kenneth?
He's in jail. They took him.
You already took him to jail?
They took him to jail and I stayed here with the car.
Why?
For a warrant.
Who do I call to find out?
To find out the warrant?
You're a police officer. Tell me who I call to find out why he's in jail.
Do you want me to call? I'll call Chaz and see what I can do.
Please do.
I will.
Right this minute.
I will, right now. That's the warrant.
What does it say? Read
I
it
can't.
to me.
Okay, so it says warrant status active, offense burglary, theft, criminal mischief, burglary of a vehicle.
Bruce is obviously trying to abuse his power and influence as commissioner to try and save his son from the law. But luckily, this officer stands his ground and refuses to cave in. Eventually, though, Kenneth was released from jail, the warrant was withdrawn, and no further action was taken against Bruce. Bruce's attempt to use his influence as commissioner to save his son was totally out of line. But sometimes cops take their frustrations out on their wives by locking them up. Here's a prime example of that messy situation. 37-year-old Pennsylvania State Trooper Ronald Keith Davis is now in the hot seat, facing serious charges after allegedly arresting his ex-girlfriend Michelle Perano under the false pretense that she was a danger to herself. The video footage, chilling and undeniable, reveals a disturbing scene. Davis, with a menacing grip, forcefully restrains Perano Verano against her will. The shocking abuse of power not only raises eyebrows, but sends a shiver down the spine, casting a shadow of darkness over the integrity of those sworn to protect and serve. Davis almost restrains her as she disagrees with him. She keeps arguing that she wants to get away from him.
You can't just walk up to someone and attack them and then call the cops on them and say you're gonna, like, that's not okay. Get off of me. You just called the cops on me for existing. You don't give a shit about anything except yourself. And if this is caring, you have a very fucked up delusional way of expressing it.
She keeps claiming her innocence while Davis holds her, leaning on the car. Davis asks the troops to hurry up while she keeps explaining that she did not do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong except disagree with you. Let me go. You can't just tackle me like that. Get off of me.
According to court documents, Davis had been seeing Michelle Parfanov for about 4 months before the incident. Officials note he's married and has a family with someone else. But on August 19th, a fight between Davis and Parfanov broke out in Dauphin County, Pennsylvania, about 2 hours northwest of Philadelphia. Parfanov would later tell police that during the course of their relationship, Davis made statements threatening to paint her as crazy. This included, "I know you're not crazy, I'll paint you as crazy, and I know the law." The argument continued when Davis first alleged Parfanov was mentally unstable.
What? Why are you treating me like I'm a criminal? I didn't do it. I just want to be able to stand.
Back and find out where they are.
I just want to be able to stand. This isn't fair.
I'll
I didn't do anything wrong.
Court documents show that while off duty, Davis reported Parfanov as suicidal. He submitted texts to the Dauphin County Crisis Intervention Center that he said were problematic, including some quotes: "My mental health doesn't matter. I'm a useless, old, stupid, uneducated piece of expletive. If this is where I'm supposed to die, then so be it, and I'm thinking of driving off a cliff." Davis used these texts as part of an involuntary mental health commitment, meaning Parfanov would be committed to an institution against her will for her safety. Court documents note Davis used his work email to submit this information when officials were dispatched to conduct a welfare check on Parfanov.
What? Can I just get the hand out of my face? I can't go anywhere. The cops are on their way anyway, but I don't even know what I did. Please? Please!
Davis was faced with severe charges: official oppression, felony strangulation, unlawful restraint, false imprisonment, simple assault, and recklessly endangering another person. The chilling allegations suggest that he placed his hands around his ex-girlfriend's neck, cutting off her air supply and plunging her into a desperate struggle for breath. When Davis held and arrested his girlfriend unlawfully, what do you think of this man who was attacked by a cop who believed he was with his wife? Suspended for a DWI charge, Albuquerque police officer Joshua Meyer now faces even darker accusations. He allegedly launched a brutal attack on a man at a dog park, a man who happened to be with the officer's wife. Witnesses intervened to halt the vicious assault. The battered victim, named Sean, was found with his head grotesquely swollen from the beating. As the officer approached Sean, the tension was palpable. Despite the severe injuries, Sean refused to press charges, his voice trembling as he mentioned that Joshua had taken his car keys during the assault.
Someone ran down the hill. I was sitting here exercising and just...
30-year-old male, multiple blows to the head, swelling on the side of the face. He is conscious and breathing.
Just came down and jumped me and started hitting me in the head.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
This is his wife?
Yeah. There's been an ongoing issue, but nothing physical until now.
Okay.
Sean then mentioned that his car keys were missing.
And I think he took my car key because it was in my pocket and I don't know where the hell it is now. So
Okay.
I can't even...
Is it just the key?
It's a black fob. For
The officer then briefed his colleagues arriving at the scene and confirmed the details with Joshua's wife, Stephanie. The situation grew more complex as it became clear that Joshua's actions were driven by personal motives.
Is the wife
Of the other dude?
of the suspect. So it might be you're sleeping with my wife, but he was over here working out and the guy just came downhill and beat the crap out of him.
The conversation between the officer and Stephanie revealed more details.
Who showed up?
My husband,
Okay. What's your husband's name?
Josh Malecki.
Huh?
Josh Malecki.
Josh is in APD, Josh.
Despite being suspended during the DWI investigation, Joshua Meyer continued to collect his paycheck, leaving many to wonder how long justice would be delayed. The case dragged on for over 9 agonizing months, shrouded in uncertainty and tension. Then in early May 2018, the suspense broke when a dramatic conclusion. Meyer entered a guilty plea just weeks after resigning from his position with the APD. Meanwhile, our last case involves Nicole Fernandez, who was arrested for driving under the influence, which was a frequent offense for her. This is Nicole Fernandez, the 34-year-old girlfriend of a state trooper who found herself in handcuffs after being caught driving under the influence, a frequent offense for her. The arrest, which unfolded in dramatic fashion, highlighted the impartiality of the law, even for those closely associated with law enforcement. The officer, suspecting Nicole was intoxicated, initiated a conversation that quickly revealed inconsistencies in her story.
Saw you on Kings Highway.
I was at 7-Eleven. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was at 7-Eleven.
All right, you have anything to drink tonight?
No, not at all.
All right, you take anything? You seem a little out of it.
No, not at all.
Okay.
The officer's suspicions were soon validated. Upon closer inspection, he discovered a white powder substance on Nicole's face and an empty wax fold containing heroin under the driver's seat. As the tension escalated, Nicole mentioned her boyfriend, who she had been dating for a few months, and nervously provided her registration and insurance information.
Who's this?
That's my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
Yeah.
How long you guys been dating for?
Like a couple months.
Couple months?
The officer then instructed Nicole to step out of her car and put her hands behind her back, a move that intensified the already tense situation. Nicole began to plead desperately.
Hop out. Put your hands behind your back.
Behind my back?
Yeah, you're being detained. You have a piece of... Don't move. Drop the cigarette. You stop moving.
Don't ruin my life.
I'm not ruining your life.
As the officer searched her car, he found additional drug paraphernalia, further implicating Nicole. She was then asked to perform field sobriety tests, which she failed. During the field sobriety test, the officer gave her detailed instructions.
So it makes sense. Yeah. All right, look right at me. Don't look at the light. Do you see the tip of my pen right here?
Yes.
When I move the tip of my pen, I want you to follow with your eyes and your eyes only, all right? Do not move your head. Do you understand?
Yes.
Arms by your side, and once you start the test, don't stop until you complete it.
Following the test, Nicole continued to express her distress. Despite failing the test, Nicole was taken to the station for a breathalyzer test, which surprisingly revealed she was not under the influence of alcohol. The twist in the case added another layer of complexity to the incident. She was ultimately released to a sober individual who signed a potential liability warning form on her behalf. This incident serves as a stark reminder that the law applies to everyone, regardless of their connections to law enforcement. Whether these cops' relatives were in the right or not, they all faced the consequences of their actions. Do you think these cops' families received justice? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe for more content.